Hi guys, and welcome to Hack Your Health. I'm Erica, and today I'm going to show you how to make an SCD friendly chicken. And I have my sister filming today, Morgan.
Hello.
So I'll just take you through all the different steps to make this chicken. And the reason why I focused on making this so often is because it's really easy. It doesn't take very much time to prepare. You can eat it for a few days, and then it's good to use the carcass to make bone broth with afterwards. So first we're going to preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. So first of all, you need to start with a whole chicken, and I try to find one that's an organic and local chicken, partially because they taste better, but also because when you cook them, they don't shrink as much, and the nutritional content of an organic chicken is going to be better than one that's factory farmed. And then you just need a variety of vegetables. So I use 2 onions, usually small ones, because I put one inside the chicken and cut one up to go with the vegetables. And then I usually would always eat a lot of beets when I was on that diet because it's like a very cleansing food, and it's a good replacement for other kinds of starchy vegetables like potatoes that aren't allowed. So if you can eat beets, that's a good replacement for those. And I would usually use also just broccoli and carrots and garlic to season it. And you can add whatever vegetables you like, but those are the ones that I like the most. And then you just need whatever spices that you want and salt and pepper. In terms of equipment, you're also going to need a fairly large baking pan and a cutting board, a knife, and a peeler for the vegetables. So now I'm just going to wash and peel all the vegetables. Yeah, just take some. What are you doing?
I see how zoomed in it goes.
So the next step is I would always line the bottom of the pan with first onions and then vegetables. And this is just something I decide to do, not what you would see on cooking shows. So the reason I put some on the bottom is because then you can fit more vegetables in with the chicken. So I lined it like this. And now I'm gonna get the chicken out of the plastic and season it. So then I season the chicken. So basically I put a lot of salt and pepper on it first. And then make sure to get the other side too. Oops. This is the neck. So for seasoning, I'm using Italian seasoning, rosemary, and I would always add turmeric because it's anti-inflammatory. So I would always just put turmeric on pretty much everything I was cooking while I was doing the diet. So just rub up the spices into the skin of the chicken. And then when you're cooking it, make sure that the chicken breast is face up, because otherwise the skin will stick to the bottom and it won't have good skin on it. So you can tell because there's a lot more meat here, whereas if you have the back facing up, when you touch it, it's all bony. So that's how you can tell which way to cook the chicken. So then at the end, I put this is a small onion, and I put it inside the chicken because it will make it more flavorful and more juicy, because if you cook it without the onion, the meat will be drier at the end. So that's it. So now the chicken is in there, and I'm just gonna wash my hands before putting the rest of the vegetables in. So then I've peeled quite a few pieces of garlic, and only include the garlic if you can tolerate it well, but it's also antimicrobial and good for specific carbohydrate diet. So what I do is I take the pieces of garlic and I tuck them into the different points of the chicken. So I put 2 under the legs, and I put 2 under the wings, and I just kind of place them around the chicken wherever they fit, and then you can just put the extra ones down the side. And the neck can just go in there. It's not really that good to eat, but it's good for making soup with afterwards, so it's good to keep the neck. And then you can just put the rest of the vegetables around the chicken. So if there's too many, you can also put some in a separate container and then put that in the oven after about an hour or so it will be ready at the same time. But for the sake of making it really easy, I just like to put the vegetables all around the chicken, and then you just have to cook one thing. You don't have to worry about time. Now all the vegetables are placed around the chicken, and the next step is to add some kind of fat. So I would usually use either coconut oil or lard or butter to season this chicken, because they can all go to a higher temperature in the oven and give a better taste. So since those are all solid at room temperature, what I usually do is put some in a bowl. So, about a tablespoon or so is enough. And then I put it on the burner where the oven vent is, because this burner is warm even though it's not turned on. So then after a couple of minutes, that will melt, and then I can just pour it over the vegetables and the chicken. So I left a bit of, this is lard, on the stove so that it would melt. And now that it's melted, I can just pour it over the chicken and try to get it on the skin, because it will make the skin more crispy as it cooks, and also the vegetables. So as the chicken cooks, it will create more fat, so you don't need to add that much, just kind of enough to get the skin covered. And I just forgot to put salt and pepper on the vegetables, so I'm just gonna do that, and then I'm gonna put it in the oven. So there. So now the chicken is ready to go into the oven, and I'm gonna cook it for about an hour and 45 minutes at 375 degrees. So it's been about an hour, and this is what the chicken looks like. And right now is a good time to baste it, or you can do it multiple times. So if you don't have as many vegetables, you can just use a spoon and use the fat that's already in the pan and put it over. But since there's so many vegetables in the way, I'm just going to use like a new piece of fat. So since the chicken is already hot, you don't need to melt it before. You can just kind of like rub it on the skin and it will melt. And once you've got some on all of the skin, you can just put the rest of it in the container, and that's all you need to do. So this is the chicken when it's come out of the oven. So just to make sure that it's done, I'm gonna cut a little bit into the breast, and you can see that it's white inside and the juice is clear. I don't know if, can you see that? Well, anyways, since it's white inside and the juice is clear, that means that it's done. So I'm gonna put it on a cutting board and then cut it up. So you can see what the vegetables look like. They're nicely cooked because they have the flavor from the chicken and the fat off the chicken in the seasoning. And then to cut the chicken, Teo, don't eat it. So to cut the chicken, you want to basically go for the joints, and wherever there's a joint, you can cut it. So you can just kind of find where they are. And it's not the easiest thing, but that's I'm not very good at this. Okay. We need a plate. I'm so obviously the right person for this, right, Morgan?
It's better than I would do.
So. So I like to, just keep this on the carcass and cut it off as you eat it. And then you can also take the rest of the meat off by hand afterwards and use the bones to make a soup with. And you can also leave some of the meat on the bone if you want to and cook that into the soup and then take it off to put in the soup afterwards. So yeah, that's how you cook a chicken. Did he think I'm gonna give him some? Aw, poor Mateo, we're torturing him.
Still has the sticker. Yeah.
Okay, turn that away from the...
Yeah. Get into position.
Why are you standing like that?
Because it's funny. Chicken.
Okay, that's it. Should we cut? Or we should get a few more of these bites in. Okay, we have to stop.